Revati. Okay, firstly, I'm having a very bad sore throat, so I try my level best to give you a very good presentation. Okay, this presentation is going to be based on the contracts, the relationship between the vendors and the participating organization, and whether the outsourcing has been actually a failure or a success in the case studies. So I've particularly chosen two case studies, which we will look at it in the next week. Alright, so as seen in the previous slide, our case study one is in regards about a apparel company known as TAL. TAL is actually a very famous family-owned apparel business which is started off at Shanghai and started growing among the Asian countries, and it became one of the famous apparel company. Okay, let's go into the outsourcing matters. What happened here was that they realized that IT was an important aspect in their manufacturing process. So therefore, they decided to actually have their own in-house application team, which was actually based in Shanghai, to actually start off with the important applications that is required for their manufacturing company. But what happened here was that as recent years passed by, they realized that e-business was coming up into the trend, and therefore they needed more expertise in it. And that's the reason why they decided to cooperate with IBM, whereby IBM actually worked with them in order to create applications and web-based developments for their business to go on to the next stage. And as this was going on, there was too much of programming development parts that was involved here. And TAL thought that maybe they would want to outsource this out to the local service providers within Shanghai. Okay, the problem here was that TAL was not very sure about their future requirements, and they were not able to explain to the team, and therefore the team was a bit laid back in terms of this, in meaning that they felt that since the organization is not giving them the relevant information, they're not going to be bothered to do anything more than that. So what happened was that there was a lot of delays when it came to presenting the project, and this project was actually done based part by part, depending on how much of information the company has provided them. So this created a lack of trust between TAL and um, the service local provider, and therefore TAL decided that maybe they felt that outsourcing it to another country, in this case they outsourced it to US based um, outsourcing company, which actually assisted them in the programming parts, and they had a very good communication and they were doing very much well. So this goes for case study one, whereby they decided to actually pass it on to a overseas outsourcing team, which was able to enable their needs much more better than trying to reduce cost and just giving to a local company which meant nothing to them. So that's about case study one. Let's look at case study two. Alright, so the next case study is about this famous food and beverage company known as Pepsi Cola, which is actually a joint venture company. Okay, they use IT to automate their manufacturing processes. So in terms of outsourcing, what they felt is that if they're going to get a very good high quality outsourcing team locally, they wouldn't be able to reduce costs, because you're definitely going to get a lot of skillful workers from them, and you're going to spend much more money outsourcing to them. And if you're going to find a small medium vendor who's going to actually work for you at a cheaper rate, but it could sacrifice the quality of the work produced to you. So what they have decided to do is decided to actually hire their own people. That means they have their own in-house team to do applications, and they outsource non-core task, which is nothing to do with their manufacturing, but any other task was outsourced to a small medium company, which they felt that they could much more leverage their costs, and therefore they were able to get a profit from their own manufacturing, which is the core task here, and the non-manufacturing, which is actually the non-core task here. So they felt that they were able to balance on like that. So now let's look at the two companies, and how did they differently use their own outsourcing techniques. Okay, that is the end of my presentation. Hope the presentation was useful, and thanks for bearing with my sore throat. So have a great day. Bye.